Ukraine is a country in Eastern Europe. It is the second largest country in Europe after Russia, which it borders to the east and northeast. Ukraine also shares borders with Belarus to the north, Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary to the west, Romania and Moldova to the south, and has a coastline along the Sea of Azov and the Black Sea. It covers about 600,000 square kilometers, with a population of about 40 million people. The nation's capital and largest city is Kiev. Hello, fact lovers. Welcome back to another Whispered Facts episode, and today we're covering the topic of Ukraine, a country that has, of course, been in the news a lot for terrible reasons, which we won't be going into in this video, which will primarily be about fun and interesting facts about the country. This video will also contain a 5-question multiple choice quiz towards the end of the video as well, so be sure to stick around for that. And with all of that being said, it's time to get comfortable, lay back, relax, and let yourself drift away as I whisper facts about Ukraine. And I feel it's only fair to state at this point that I don't speak Ukrainian, obviously, so it's likely that I will mispronounce many words within this video, but I think that's part of the fun, attempting to pronounce words in other languages. But if there are any Ukrainian people who happen to watch this video, feel free to correct my mispronunciation of any words. Okay, so the official language of Ukraine is, of course, Ukrainian. However, there are in fact 20 different languages spoken in Ukraine. Wow, that is a lot more than I would have ever imagined. Seven sites in Ukraine are on the UNESCO World Heritage List, and they are among the best locations to visit in the Ukraine. These include the St. Sophia Cathedral in Kiev and the historic center of Lviv, as well as the Carpathians' unique wooden churches and the beech forests that surround them. Ukraine is bordered to the south by the Black Sea, and here they have control over, and here's a word I'm going to attempt to pronounce, Zymny Island, and it's spelled Zyminy, Zymny Island, known commonly as Snake Island due to the residents. It's the only natural home of the critically endangered golden lancehead pit viper, which were trapped on the island in the last ice age. goodness. So, there is an actual island that is home to snakes. And only snakes, I think. That's a pretty terrifying prospect, I have to say. But actually having just processed this fact, I actually recall watching a video of another snake-inhabited island. I can't remember where it was, but yeah, I wouldn't fancy going there myself, but I'm sure it's a sensational place, and I think I just hissed there like a snake, which was completely unplanned. Ukraine is a popular tourist destination in Eastern Europe, with over 10 million visitors each year, most coming from nearby countries. The Carpathian Mountains are suitable for adventures, while the Black Sea coastline offers long, sandy beaches. It also has ancient castles, vineyards, impressive churches, and many other attractions. One of the most unique tourist attractions in Ukraine is the so-called Tunnel of Love, a section of industrial railway that is surrounded by stunning greenery. It's a favourite for couples who are looking for a romantic walk. So there you go, if you're in a romantic relationship, that could be somewhere to put on your list of places to visit. It sounds very nice. Ukraine is the world's largest producer of sunflower seeds, and across every part of Ukraine you'll see stunning fields of these yellow blooms. So many that they'd cover the entire of Slovenia if you uprooted them. That is a lot of sunflower seeds, you have to say. And Slovenia isn't that much larger than Northern Ireland in terms of the area. They're quite similar, but it is just slightly larger than here, I believe. So there's a bonus fact for you, I guess. Standing at 2,061 meters, Mount Verla, part of the Carpathian Mountains, which fall into western Ukraine, is the tallest peak in Ukraine and a popular site for extreme sports. The Chernobyl accident, the world's deadliest nuclear disaster, occurred in Ukraine. The Chernobyl exclusion zone, established by the Soviet Union soon after the catastrophe in 1986, includes the disaster site and its surroundings, which are located in northern Ukraine. There are a number of abandoned villages within the zones, most famous of disaster. It was something that I'd heard about, obviously, but didn't know too much about, and I think it's a really fascinating topic. One that could even be worth its own video one day. It was a terrible accident, of course, and it led to the nearby villages being evacuated, which are now essentially ghost towns. And I love watching videos about people exploring these ghost towns, left behind, that are just, I guess, frozen in time. I just think it's really fascinating. Kiev is home to the world's deepest metro station. On November the 6th, 1960, this subway station opened as part of the first stage of the Kiev Metro, which was built and designed by the Soviet Union. Arselna Station, located at a depth of 105.5 meters, is the deepest metro station in Kiev Metro at 346 feet. And that doesn't sound ideal if you were claustrophobic, perhaps. I'm not a great lover of anything underground, although I'm not actually claustrophobic. I don't particularly enjoy it, but yeah, I think that's a cool fact anyway. Ukraine's huge agricultural area and fertile black soil make it an ideal location for cultivating wheat and other agricultural crops. Hence, it is called the breadbasket of Europe. Ukraine is still one of the major wheat producers in the world today. Football is the top sport in Ukraine, with the clubs Dynamo Kiev and Shakhtar Donetsk enjoying immense popularity. The country's best finish in the World Cup was in 2006, when they went as far as the quarterfinals. Yeah, they are a decent team, Ukraine, who do have the ability to shock a bigger nation in footballing terms. In saying that, I can't pass this fact without mentioning that we, as in Northern Ireland, did actually defeat Ukraine at the Euro 2016 football tournament, and the score in that match was 2-0, and it was our first win at a Euros and our only win at that particular tournament. So for me, playing the Ukraine holds some fond memories. With a maximum takeoff weight of 710 tons, the AN-225 is the largest aircraft ever built, with a total weight of 559,580 pounds and a single item payload of 418,830 pounds. It holds the record for total airlifted payload. While Ukraine was still a part of the Soviet Union, the Antonov AN-225 Miria was produced in Kiev, It also boasts the widest wingspan of any operational plane. And I have actually seen images of this plane, and it's not an exaggeration when I say it is an absolute beast. So if you get the opportunity to check it out, then do so if you're interested in seeing one of the biggest aircrafts in existence. The Ukrainian government and numerous English language media outlets have publicly condemned the use of the Ukraine. Ukraine is the country's official full name as specified in its Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. On August the 24th, 1991, Ukraine's Communist Supreme Soviet stated that Ukraine would no longer follow the laws of the Soviet Union and would instead follow the laws of the Ukrainian SSR, thereby declaring Ukraine's independence from the Soviet Union. I'm glad this fact came up. It's something that I've noticed before. Sometimes you hear it referred to as the Ukraine, and I'm aware that at least maybe 2 or 3 times within this video I have said the Ukraine instead of Ukraine, and yeah, I'm very glad that this fact has came up, because I've always been wondering why you sometimes hear it as one way and the other, and it's good to get some clarification on it. So they don't like being referred to as the Ukraine. I'll have to keep that in mind for the future and for the rest of this video. Ukraine is the cheapest country in Europe, with everything available at rock bottom pricing. All kinds of transportation, including buses and railways, are reasonably priced. When compared to other parts of Europe, even the food is inexpensive. Ukrainians love drinking horilka, which is spelled Horilka, which is a local variant of vodka. Locals often flavor this national drink with chili pepper to give it a bit more punch. Well, as someone who isn't a huge drinker, I can't say that I'd fancy giving that a try. I imagine it's fairly strong in nature. I just have a feeling, and there's no way that I'd be able to handle how strong it would be. Ukraine is home to several archaeological sites that were previously Neanderthal settlements. The settlements feature a mammoth bone dwelling. These sites date back to 43,000 to 45,000 BC. Mount Uverla is Ukraine's highest mountain, standing at 2,061 meters. The Carpathian Mountains include Mount Uverla, its destination over time. On August the 24th, 1991, Ukraine declared its independence from the Soviet Union. Its parliament declared that the country would no longer follow the USSR's laws and would instead follow its own. The referendum for independence was approved by a large majority of people in December of that year. Yeah, and I think we touched on this briefly a little bit earlier in the video, and there were a lot of countries back then breaking away from other nations and gaining independence. I believe it was around that same time in the early 1990s that Yugoslavia began to break up into separate independent nations as well. So there was a lot of activity on that front at that time. Ukraine has one of the highest numbers of IT certified professionals behind the US, India, and Russia. This makes it a top outsourcing destination for companies all over the globe. In 2019, it became the biggest IT services exporter in Europe. Varenki boiled dumplings with potatoes, sauerkraut, mushrooms, cottage cheese, or berries. And berries is one of Ukraine's most popular traditional dishes. Borscht, which is spelled B-O-R-S-C-H-T, borscht, a beef, mushroom, cabbage, and beet soup, is another popular choice with Ukrainians. And I'm not exactly sure what the first word there was, or it's pronounced. It's spelled V-A-R-E-N-Y-K-Y, Varenki. But yeah, I'm sure that all is very appealing, and to be honest, it does sound quite nice, and it's something that I wouldn't mind giving a try if I was in Ukraine. Stalin, Churchill, and Roosevelt met at the Yalta Conference in 1945, which was hosted by Ukraine. The meeting was aimed at charting the way forward in relation to the organization of post-war Europe. The venue, Levidia Palace, is now a museum, and perhaps that's pronounced Livadia Palace. I'm not exactly sure, but it is spelled L-I-V-A-D-I-A. The Danube, Dnipro, Desna, Pripyat, Southern Bu, and Siberian Donetsk are Ukraine's 7 largest rivers. Around 95% of the country's rivers flow into the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov's drainage basins. And I don't think I did too badly there at pronouncing some of those words. I gave it my best shot. Yana Klochkova is Ukraine's finest swimmer, having won She is a world champion in the 400 meter freestyle. And I don't know too much about swimming. I only really tend to watch it during the Olympics, but not all that much compared to other events. But as a swimmer, to be nicknamed Goldfish is probably the biggest compliment you could receive. Although Dolphin actually sounds pretty cool as well. Chess is a prominent sport in Ukraine with over 85 grandmasters. In 1998, Ruslan Ponomaryov, who was just 14 at the time, became the world's youngest grandmaster for men. At the age of 18, he won the world title. Thousands of Jews were offered protection by Ukrainian religious leaders during World War II. One of the leaders, Metropolitan Audrey Shevchevsky, was honored in 2013 by the Anti-Defamation League for his humanitarian role. The Jews found refuge in monasteries and Ukrainian homes. The climate of Ukraine is generally moderate and continental. Precipitation is disproportionately distributed. The west and north receive the most, while the east and southeast receive the least. Winters range from mild around the Black Sea to bitterly frigid inland, and can attract a lot of snow. Yeah, I know they get very harsh winters over in Eastern Europe, and as someone who isn't a fan of being cold, I wouldn't enjoy being there at that time. I think I'm quite happy where I am, although you do get a lot of people moaning about how cold it is here, and I just kind of roll my eyes because it really isn't all that bad. We rarely get snow, even in winter. You might get the odd few days here and there, but nothing extreme like other parts of the world, such as Ukraine. The first frame hive was invented in Ukraine in 1814 by Peter Prokopovich. In recent years, Ukraine has firmly maintained its place in the top 3 of the world's leaders in honey production, outperforming European countries by several times the volume of honey production. Ukraine is at the same time the first in the world to produce honey per capita. In Ukraine, there are numerous festivals and fairs to attend. Rock, pop, jazz, folk, electric, Jovovich, who had leading roles in The Fifth Element and Resident Evil. Another is Mila Kunis, who is known for movies such as Black Swan, as well as the sitcom That 70s Show. And I knew about Mila Kunis, but I actually didn't know about Mila Jovovich. It's quite funny that they're both named Mila, although Mila Jovovich actually has a double L in her name. And I think the names are quite a big sign that they are from Eastern Europe. And maybe you couldn't quite narrow it down to Ukraine, but the names do suggest Eastern Europe. And I did actually see Mila Kunis recently on a news report talking about her Ukrainian roots and the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. And finally, the current Ukrainian flag consists of two horizontal stripes of yellow and blue, with the blue representing the country's great blue skies, and the yellow representing the country's wheat fields. In terms of psychology, blue denotes calmness, while yellow denotes joy. I love flags, as you may or may not know, and I love learning about the meaning behind the design of the flags. So I love this fact, and I think it's a great fact to end this portion of the video. Alright guys, so now we move on to the 5-question multiple choice quiz. I hope you guys are ready. Let's see if you can get 5 out of 5 on this one. So, question 1. In what year did Ukraine declare its independence from the Soviet Union? Was it 1990, 1991, or 1992? And the correct answer there is 1991. So, well done if you are off to a good start. Question 2. How many sites in Ukraine are there on the UNESCO World Heritage List? Is it 7, 8, or 9? And if you said 7 sites, you are absolutely correct. So well done if you said 7. And we move on to question 3. Ukraine is one of the world's major producers of what crop? Is it wheat, barley, or corn? And the correct answer there is wheat. So well done if you said wheat. And we have as you probably know, I'm quite interested in geography, but I do find questions like this to be tricky as you attempt to visualize the map. But if you said Moldova, well done, you have found the correct answer. And finally, question 5. What is the country's best ever finish at a FIFA World Cup tournament? Was it the round of 16, the quarterfinals, or the semi-finals? And this is a question I would have known the answer to before making this video, being a big follower of the sport of football. And if you said the quarterfinals, then you finished the quiz with a correct answer. So well done if you got that one right. And well done if you got 5 out of 5. And if you didn't do particularly well on the quiz, I wouldn't worry too much about it. It is just a bit of fun at the end of the day. And that concludes the quiz for this episode, guys. I hope you did well. Let me know down in the comments however you did on the quiz, as I'm always curious to hear from you guys and how you did on my quizzes. So guys, that is just about it for today's Whispered Facts episode. I hope you enjoyed learning some fun and interesting facts about the country of Ukraine. And if you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment as well, as it really helps send positive signals to YouTube. And if you want to see more ASMR facts on countries, check out the playlist in the description. And if you enjoy content like this and you're new around here, consider subscribing to the channel as well. But thank you once again for joining me, and until next time, rest easy, sleep well, and I hope to see you again very soon for another video. And goodbye for now.